Oh, well, my name's Fox910. I'm at Fox, and I just finished watching Season 4 of Camp Cretaceous, which, the more I watch this show, the more that I'm like, especially this season, the more I'm looking at it like, first off, I love this season. I love this season a lot. Does raise some questions, though, but also sets up things that I want the movie to bring in, but I'm pretty sure won't. So, first part, they need to get the kids off the island. They need the kids off the island because at some point, because I guess they needed them off the island. I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying to think. Wait. How far between Jurassic World and Jurassic World are... Shit. How far between Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom is there?
3 years.
Okay. So... Okay, my first thought is, okay, they need to get them off the island because, you know, in part 2, world kind of... the island kind of explodes and melts. But it's only been 6 months since the beginning of the series. So basically, they've spent, I think, 1 month more than Anne did in Amphibia. So watching this show, I'm kind of looking at. I was like, okay, well, they want to get off the island and they want to have more adventures, somewhere else. I thought, because I hadn't seen any trailers or anything like that, because I wanted to go in blind. I thought they were going to go to Site B. I'm like, because from what they showed, what I knew from Twitter is, like, some people freaking out, like, oh my god, the Spinosaurus is back, and, like, it's another island, so, like, it's got to be, like, Site B. That's from, like, the second movie that wasn't really that great. If you love it, you love it. I'm not going to say anything about this because I love those movies when they first came out. Especially the third one, I think, was my favorite Jurassic Park at the time. Now, honestly, I think Jurassic World is probably my favorite. Honestly, I say that one's probably as good, if not better, than the original Jurassic Park. Fallen Kingdom, however, I do not like at all. I do not like that movie. I despise that movie so much. Although watching CinemaWins, I will say, has made me like, okay, there's some redeeming things in this. Mind you, there are some stupider things in it still. But I get it, so I'm like, okay, fine. But it is still my least favorite out of probably all the Jurassic Park movies. But basically, the kids get off the island, which I want to say one thing. Like, it opens with them on the boat. Which one? This show knows how to very well use its budget, because the thing with CG shows is that, like, you need a lot of set pieces, and a lot of times you're probably going to repeat set pieces a lot, at least from what I've seen. Which, at a lot of times, I've said this before in, like, the last review of this show, like, it can be... I never really liked the Sonic Boom cartoon. I need to rewatch it because apparently it's really good. That and the Looney Tunes show. I need to really watch them because apparently they were really good. I just needed to give that more of a chance. But one of my biggest issues with that, and it's probably because I went in thinking it would be like something like, mind you, Sonic X, where it's more of an adventure rather than a sitcom, I guess. But in any case, one of my issues was like, okay, like, Sonic X is not the greatest cartoon either, but I will say, like, every episode it was like, okay, here's a new Eggman robot, here's a new this, and then, like, this one's like, okay, that's the same crab robot from the first episode, and you're saying it's just a different one, or they're running around the same spiral thing from the very first episode. It's like, really? Like, there was bits in that I was just like, okay, whatever, and I didn't, like, this show knows how to use its budget well, because one, you still have, like, they make it, first off, ocean, pretty easy thing, just have the water, boat, you're pretty much set. They had that from the first season. Although I will say, like, what is it? When they had Darius, like, first off, the whole thing starts with them driving over the ocean. Seaweed gets stuck in the the rotor of the boat, so Darius has to go down and unravel it in a which I didn't know this, but kind of cool. In a seaweed forest, apparently sharks like to just hunt around there. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. They're like kind of like wolves of like forests, but underwater. So he unravels this, knowing that there might be sharks in the water, which, mind you, sharks do get a bad rap on things. So I honestly would have preferred something along the lines of, the shark comes by and they're like, oh my god, and the shark just kind of passes by like, the fuck, like, what are you complaining about? I don't want to eat you. It just floats away. I would have loved if that was the case. Like, and like one of them was like, oh yeah, sharks really don't attack humans. And then the giant demon monster comes in, because obviously a shark comes and they're like, oh no. Well, first off, Darius is in the water and going, oh, make sure the propeller's working. Don't worry, I'll be in the water just in case it needs more untangling. And I'm like, you're gonna stay in the water where you know there are sharks. Again, sharks aren't really whatever. Where you know there might be sharks, and you're just gonna wait in the water. No, get on the boat. You know where the shark can't get you? The boat, unless it jumps. But yeah, like, the hell is your idea there? But in any case, yeah. And then, lo and behold, the shark isn't the worst problem. When the giant water dinosaur comes in and eats the shark and then tries to eat them, knocking against the boat. Which, I'm going to say this right now, this is probably the dumbest, and I watched this entire thing, and there's a lot of stupid shit that happened to this, especially when Cash comes in. Oh my god, the stupidity happened. But, the giant whatever dinosaur starts chewing on the boat, bites down, and like jumps over the water, bites down on the front, on the deck basically, or the back, whatever. And Yaz has an oar in her hands. There's the giant dinosaur right in front of her, 2 feet. The eye is right there, and it's wide open, and she chooses to bash it on the head. I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm like, you're an idiot. Throughout this entire season, I was like, you guys are freaking idiots. Mind, you're not saying this is bad. I really love this season. But basically, this leads them to having to... This leads their boat getting destroyed and them waking up on an island where they're on a beach. They walk through a cave, and they find themselves in a desert. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And they see something shining off in the distance. Like, okay, cool. They go there. There's a whole love triangle. Not love triangle. There's a whole love subplot with Kenji and Brooklyn. I'm like, not the time. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, you like each other, that's awesome, nothing against that, but by God, do this shit when you're not about to die, please. But yeah, so they go in, they're like, I see something shining off in the middle of this desert, let's go there. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of smart, because if it's metal, yeah, humanity is probably there. There's usually not just random ass metal everywhere without humanity. So they make their way there, the whole thing with a chasm and shit. And again, it's this chasm we see a few times, but you know, whatever. They make it to the thing, they're like, it's a giant metal plate in the ground. They're like, it's a metal rectangle, what could it be? I'm like, it's a hatch! Open it, you dumbass! I'm like, I was like, oh my God, you people are stupid. Get a stick, put it there, lift something. I'm like, God, you're freaking stupid. And then there's a whole thing with Ben, which I hated at first, but then I actually liked, because Ben goes through like a kind of a character regression, but then it turns out it's more of a character balancing, where this kid was afraid of everything, you know, hand sanitizer, all this shit. And then, you know, he's brave, like, I'm a superhero kind of thing. And then now, like, he's like, when he starts questioning, like, oh my God, these berries are like just like the ones on the island. But what if they're actually poisonous? And I'm like, first off, prehistoric berries on this island should be a clue you're not on an island that's safe. Second, he gets more scared and everything. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But then like in the end they say, oh no, you're becoming Ben. Like you're not brave Ben, you're not scared Ben, you're just Ben now. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Also, there's a saber-toothed tiger. I just remember the little girl being a clone in Fallen Kingdom, but also now I'm questioning that too. Because the whole thing with dinosaurs is that they used frog DNA to make their dinosaurs, and that's also what leads to dinosaurs changing sexes, and then also mating, and then making more dinosaurs. So now my question is the saber-tooth in that half frog? Is the little girl from Fallen Kingdom half frog? Or have they just perfected cloning at this point? In any case. Yeah, but then they find a freaking hatch in a hologram wall kind of thing. It's like, what the hell? Immediately find it, which I'm like, oh, wow, okay. But they immediately open it up and like, huh. After they get away from the saber-tooth, they get in. And they find out that this is like an island, and eventually they find out immediately that it's an island made by Manticore, which also, FYI, I don't know if I ever brought this up, Manticore, which, if you don't know, a Manticore is a creature that's hodgepodge of different shit, from like lion, scorpion, goat, eagle, something like that. Which, it's cool for this corporation that's making abominations, but making these different dinosaurs and then hybrids. And basically they find out that they're in a place that has multiple different biomes, each for like different dinosaurs, as well as this one lady who's probably one of the only. Actually, no, there's been a good adult, I think, in each season, if I remember correctly. Because in the first one, it's the camp directors, which surprisingly they have not come back yet. Then there's. I can't remember in season 2 who was a good guy. It's been so long. Maybe it was still the camp directors. I know. Yeah, I think it was. And then the third one, it was the hunter guy. And then this one, it's this lady, the doctor, which I'm probably gonna assume is gonna become Darius' stepmom. I don't know. But she loves dinosaurs, and it's like, oh yeah, I work for this and stuff like that. They find out it works for Manticore. She's like, no, the company's fine. Turns out it's not. Especially when. Oh, God. I'm going to bring up some pictures here. But the bad guy of this season is a guy called Cash, which... he is like if you took Sid from Toy Story, mixed him with the dude from Toy Story 2, and then also the redheaded bad guy from, and also the bad guy from Megamind. And if you merge them together, he is an insufferable asshole. But he's an insufferable asshole. But he is a better version of Ronaldo. And mind you, if you know my videos, I hate Ronaldo. I hate him with a passion. I hate that character. Every time he was on screen, I freaking hated him so much. So much. And this dude is the literal definition of like an incel. I don't want to say I like this character. I guess in a weird way, I do. I don't know. I hate him. I don't like him. He's not a good guy, but he is a good villain. He's a good villain, and it's because of how petty he is. Where a kid goes like, oh, if you're afraid to fight me in a video game, he will not only take that bait to go play a video game with this kid to prove he's better, but when he loses, he will then hack that game to screw with the kid and be like, oh, you should just be better at video games. I'm like, by God, I hate you, but oh my God, you're so petty. It's like he almost steals the show almost, and he very much gives off that early 2000s Pixar bully. And it's just like, And honestly, looking at him, I'm like, you're a guy who didn't really have friends growing up, did you? I'm just looking at him like, I'm just like, And it's really funny, too. This shit is really funny, too, because, the doctor, the good doctor, turns out, oh yeah, you know, she's using, she figured out how to talk with dinosaurs, basically. And so Cash is like, all right, I got an idea for using this. And, like, he tells this to his boss, and here's the thing. At one point, Cash makes a T-Rex and, a Spinosaurus. I can't remember what it's. No, it's not Spinosaurus. Whatever the one with all the spikes on his back is. Spike from Littlefoot. They make them fight. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, like, one, this guy throughout this whole thing has been just destroying, like, $1,000 equipment. Because they have these robots now, which I'm going to bring up the robots in a minute because I love them. But also bring up questions about them. There's these robots called Brads, which they're like these. They're like if you saw the Boston Dynamics robot, but with guns. Like the Boston Dynamics robot, or have you ever seen the Black Mirror one where it's the Boston Dynamics robots like going psycho, killing people? That's what these things are, but they're kind of shaped like dinosaurs, which I'm looking at, I'm like, I want a toy of that. But, he's basically just been destroying this shit when it gets angry. He just kicks it, one gets destroyed, it's like, what the hell? Kicks to another one into like a frozen lake. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, aren't those like thousands of dollars, like possibly $1 million robots? And you're just chucking these things in, like, the hell is wrong with you? Like he already, I totally lost my train of thought. But he's an asshole. He is, and he's a dick. I can't remember what I was thinking about. But yeah, the robots. Anyways, I want to talk about the robots. I can't remember what the hell I was saying. What was I talking about? What the hell? But yeah, Cash is a petty asshole. He just destroys shit. Oh, right. I remember now. You have the two dinosaurs fighting, and I'm thinking, okay, he's already shown that he doesn't give a shit about things. Like, I wouldn't realize he wants to see a Pokemon battle between these two dinosaurs. I'm not gonna lie, like, one of my favorite bits in the last few seasons were the bits where two dinosaurs were fighting each other. I'm not gonna say it's not freaking cool having these dinosaurs fight, but it is very funny to me that I see this guy setting up a Pokemon battle, and then he calls his boss, and goes, hey, I got these doctor's notes about controlling dinosaurs, and I got a really cool idea. And the guy, and his boss goes, no, that's not the plan. The plan is to have Pokemon battles with dinosaurs. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. You're telling me the $1 billion corporation's big idea for dinosaurs is, because Cash's pretty much idea is to militarize these dinosaurs, to use the talking thing along with a chip in the brain to make the dinosaurs fight, or to control them, and, you know, make them giant weapons. But no. The big corporation's idea is we're just gonna keep genetically making and printing out dinosaurs to then have them do Pokemon battles in different biomes because we're fucking stupid. I'm like, you're a freaking idiot! These should be switched! You should be trying to make the dinosaurs militarized, and the dumbass spoiled brat wants the Pokemon battles, not the other way around, you idiot! I'm like, oh my god, you're stupid! You're freaking idiot, you're stupid! And I'm like, oh my god. But I'm like, okay, whatever. That had me laughing so hard. It might sound like I'm making fun of this, and I really do love this season a lot, and I want to see a lot of this come into the next movie. My God, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're really stupid. You're so damn stupid. Oh my God. Anyway, robots. The robots. Oh my God, the robots are so cool. Okay. Also, another thing. Why the hell do you give a shit about genetically engineering dinosaurs to fight? You can make Metabots! By God, these robots are badass. they're like these like first there are these quadrupedal like ones that are just really robotic-esque, and like opens up and shoots like these energy balls, which I guess they're actually like little electric balls that charge up and fire and they explode. They just straight killed a compy at one point. I'm like, oh damn, okay. But they're these badass robots. They're kind of like the robots from Horizon Zero Dawn. But by God, okay, hold on. But yeah, so these robots kind of badass. They're really scary. First thing, like, what is it? Unauthorized life form. Zap, dead. Chasing the kids, very damn scary. Then you can find out you can knock their heads off kind of easily. But then, like, Cash like, these robots suck. I'm gonna make a better one. Makes Brad X, which are these raptor tall walking China robots that are just like scary. They're like, they kind of look like the Reptar robot from the Rugrats movie, where they go to they go to Paris. I'm sorry, I forgot that they go to Paris, but there's a Japanese hotel theme park there. Any case, kind of looks like the Reptar robot, or is it the Reptar mobile from the first movie? Either way, robots, cool. The thing looks badass. And like basically at one point Darius kind of like gets in with Cash a little bit, like, hey, I kind of just washed up on this island, but I can help you with stuff, do dirty stuff, work with you. And so Cash is like, all right, dirty work for you. And like Cash is like, okay, this robot's your babysitter. It's like the Brad Axe was badass, like they're super indestructible almost. And I love it because at one point Darius is picking up broken bits of the other Brad Axe that were destroyed earlier, and all I keep looking at this, and like he goes, aren't you gonna help me? And the camera just zooms in on the face of the guy, just like two eyes here, just like looking dead at the camera and just silent. I'm like, God, this thing is freaking scary, but also like that's just like really funny. I'm like, God, these things look goofy, but also like very terrifying. Like, yeah, I like these. And I'm like, why the hell do you give a shit about making giant dinosaurs that you need to maintain with constant food and genetically engineering bigger dinosaurs to fight each other when you could just make Metabots? You could just make... If you don't know what Metabots are, go check those out. They're freaking awesome. It's an anime. Season 1. Go check out Season 1. Season 2, the animation really went downhill and looked like shit. But Season 1 is damn solid and really damn good. And I think it's probably one of the best pocket monster anime series there is. I would say next to Digimon, but also like the beginning of this series reminded me of the Digimon part where they're on a raft going over the ocean. And back then, in the early 2000s, I think that's probably actually the 90s, the water, there's a point where they're water, and I'm like, that's just solid blue with, like, God, it looks awful. I gotta rewatch the original Digimon, but I will say, Metabots, solid, go check that anime out. But I'm like, yeah, I would dig friggin' like these robots fighting each other. You need to make them big, make them small, way better maintenance. You can add new parts and things to it. I'm like, come on, Dino robots, hell yeah. You have pocket dino. Oh my God, it'd be so beautiful. Any case, dinosaurs. Anyways, robots, yes, but. There are some things in this show that I will say, like, kind of, like, maybe... Mind you, I'm not saying, like, it made it bad or anything, but there's bits I'm like, really? Really? Like, I have notes. Let me see here. Kenji and Brooklyn romance. Yeah, Brooklyn has two moms, two dads. Brooklyn has two dads. That's cool. Oh, yeah, everyone in the beginning, first episode... Well, we're gonna be home soon, so I don't want. We should all say our goodbyes now and stuff like that. I don't want to say goodbye. Everyone's trying to say their goodbyes. I'm like, it's episode 1, season 4. I don't think you're gonna go home right now. Kenji has waterproof gel because at one point he completely submerges himself underwater, brings his head up, and his hair does not move. Why did she try to hit it in the head? dude made a lot of quotations on things that actually happened. Oh yeah, at one point Ben's like, you know, we might die and we might be in a horrible desert, like stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know, you're saying like your quotations, but like that's all actually happening. Nerd kid recognizes prehistoric berries. Never mind, nerd kid's regressing. Oh, yeah, that's how I brought that up. Hatch and door. Oh, there are different biomes, and these couldn't make a park like this. Yeah, because you can make one. There's also all that technology. I'm like, really? Anyways, are there going to be random lady be a biological mother? No. I thought the doctor was going to be Darius's like biological mother or something. Doesn't he have 2 dads? I don't know. How could you study dinos act be bad? Wait, Turner? How could studying dinos act... like, the one where she says, like, how could studying dinos be a bad thing? It's like, militarizing them, that's how. They missed the plane. There's a whole thing where, like, oh, yeah, we're gonna bring this plane... Oh, yeah, like, a supply plane's gonna come in 10 days. And they're like, we can't wait that long. And I'm like, you people are stupid. Stupid. Like, that's one of the things I'm like, you just play the waiting game. Wait. Like, just wait. That's it. Like, what the hell are you doing? And there's bits where, like, they're getting chased by the Brad, the first versions. And, like, they close the door behind you, like, that should keep them out. Using the system lock to lock the door that the robot is connected to. You didn't think that through, lady, did you? There's some bits like that. And, like, I don't know. For me, the plane. And, again, they try to rush to the plane. And as when the plane leaves, they're like, oh, no, we're never getting home. I'm like, that plane is going to come back. Like, the hell? And also, like, that plane's going to come back in, like, a few days. Like, also, what happens if you get on the plane and, like, you know, they shut you up? Like also, things along the lines of that there's no phone on this island, so the doctor can't call out. And I'm just like, okay, how does she report back to things? And I guess that makes sense that Cash has a phone. Which, mind you, there are bits where, like, they saw Cash had a phone, and they're like, how do we get it from him? I'm like, you get a very sharp stick first, and you stab him. You stealth behind him, and you stab him. That's how. I'm like, I don't know, for me, I went survival mode just looking at this show. Like, there's a bit, like, every time they destroyed a Brad, one of the Brads, the robots, the white ones, the easier ones to destroy, I'm looking at it, I'm like, tear it apart. Make armor. This thing has armor on it. It's supposed to be like caretakers almost of the dinosaurs. So you'd imagine they're probably supposed to be somewhat durable, especially to being bitten and you know, stuff. So rip off that armor from the broken Brad, you know, vines, whatever you can. No wires. They got wires. Wrap them. Make a suit of armor with that stuff. And you know what? The head that shoots out, apparently gas, which just shoots out, you know, when you open its mouth wide enough, which is pretty good. But I didn't know about that until, like, after. This is where I first saw it. First seeing the Brads when they first destroyed one. Take the head. I guess now if it has a little orb thing, to make sure it's in there to load it in. Take the wires. All you need is the power supply, because the robots obviously charge up those balls before they fire it. So you take the head. You take a power supply, you take the power batteries that are most likely connected to one half of it, and then the main power supply, like, cable, tap the sucker onto the battery, the thing will shoot. I don't know, there's some bits in this where I'm looking at it, I'm like, you could easily make that head into a new gun. Into a gun. Like, yeah, it's not going to be trigger, but it's going to be enough to, like, okay, keep that mouth open. Hey, buddy! Zap! Fook! Dead. Many ways you can do it. I was just looking at him like... And then, yeah, I do though like that, like, Brad X, which was, like, the newer one, the alligator one. One, I like how it walked on 2 legs. It looked very creepy. And then it would also run on all 4s. And I'm like, ooh, that's creepy. Ooh. But I do like that they couldn't really destroy that thing. Because unlike the first Brad robots, which they just learned, like, okay, they can destroy that whenever. Like, the Brad X comes out, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, these suckers are way tougher, and, like, they're not going to be, like, easily, like, knocked down. These are a threat. And I'm like, okay, cool. There's some bits in this that I did question. Like, they have different biomes for the different dinos. And, like, Spinosaurus is in the desert. But aren't the Spinosaurus water-based dinos? Am I wrong on that? Also, wouldn't most dinosaurs be hot weather? Because apparently grass didn't exist during dinosaur time either. So, I don't know. The biomes idea was cool, and I like that. I do kind of look at some of the bits. I'm like, why are the doors so easily findable? Like, I guess they'll learn eventually, but yeah, like, that was some bits where I'm like, okay. Let's see, Cash and Darius, Brad X are alone. Oh yeah, there's one point where they try to get, because at one point Darius again has the babysitter Brad X, but at one point Brooklyn tries to hack the Brad X, and there's a bit they're like, oh, don't worry, I can reprogram him, as she pops open a thing and is messing with wires. I'm like, how the hell are you going to reprogram software by messing with the hardware wires? I don't know. I'm not a hackologist, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume you can't do that. Mind you, when they do hack the Brad 1, which is easier to hack, they do have an iPad that they are apparently using that to hack with. And I'm like, okay, that solves that issue. You hacked it with the iPad. Sure. I can believe that. I do not believe that you just use this, that you just, like, pressed wires together and you hacked a robot. No. I'm trying to think. I took notes. I watched the whole season. Let's see here. Process of shave. No. There's a new hybrid in this, which is a Spinosaur Triceratops. It's probably another dinosaur. I'm just going to say Triceratops. Spinosaur Triceratops, which are twins actually. They're made from the DNA that the Texan girl brought over from the other island or gave to Manticore. And they're a hybrid of the Triceratops and the Spinosaurus, which I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, what the hell is the benefit of this? Like, mind you, the Indoraptor, and is it the Scorpio Rex? I think it's the Scorpio Rex. They're all combat. They're all combat creatures, and they are injected with combat DNA. Combat creating DNA, where it's a raptor mixed with a T-Rex. The Scorpio Rex is another two dinosaurs, and it's freaking insane, but it is made to be basically combative and, like, cool. Like, oh yeah, like, evil. They're supposed to be they're supposed to be like, you want a destructive monster? Here you go. This, I'm like, what the hell kind of combination is this? The thing's body is too big to swim like a Spinosaurus. It's a carnivore mixed with it's an omnivore. It's a herbivore mixed with a carnivore. So does it eat meat? Is it an omnivore? Is it just... And then, like, it turns out in the end, like, its biome that it's supposed to live in is the Arctic area because they genetically enhance them to have heat in their body, like a higher temperature body heat. And I'm kind of, again, looking at it like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Doesn't really make sense why you added a Spinosaurus and Triceratops together, but, like, maybe this is the prototype hybrid dinosaur. I don't know. All I know is I was looking at them like, oh. And then, like, there's a whole thing with Yaz, like, having a fear of dinosaurs. All of them have a fear of dinosaurs except Darius, apparently. But she has a dream at one point where she walks out. Every time it starts with poker. It starts with poker for some reason. I guess because she's thinking about her mom and wants to see her mom again. But it always starts with something about poker, and then, like, she sees something happen. But, like, the one that took me off right before that I seen that. She goes out to get berries or firewood. I can't remember what. Goes out and sees the Indo Rex. I'm like, oh shit. And then you see the Scorpio Rex. I'm like, oh shit. And then you see the T-Rex. I'm like, oh my god, she's dead. I'm looking at him like, oh, she is dead. I'm like, one, holy shit, they got all of these things on this island. Then it turns out it's a fake out dream. I'm like, damn it. But I'm like, one, I didn't want her to die. That's not what I'm saying. There are many times I'm watching this, I'm like, they're screwed. But yeah, they get out of it. But yeah, they get out of all that stuff. But the majority of it is them hiding out, trying to mess up Cash's plans of like trying to inject a chip into the brains to like try to control the dinosaurs. They get like these baby dinos with them, and like there's a really sad bit because like Ben doesn't want to name like the long neck dinosaur because he's like, I don't want to get attached to it like with Bumpy, and then eventually he names it like that. He's like, oh, Bumpy probably forgot about me by now. And then you cut to the main island where Bumpy's like looking up at the camp and he's roaring out like seeing if Ben's there, and he just kind of lays there waiting for Ben. I'm like, that's so sad, especially since that means Bumpy's gonna burn in lava in 2 years. I'm like, God. I'm like, why? I'm like, oh God. But yeah, and then the season, like I've covered a lot of stuff. Go watch it yourself; it's really good. But the season ends. We're at a point where I'm just like, I think I already know who especially with the whole Kenji's whole thing. I'm like, I think I already know who the main boss is, and like, it also makes sense now because at one point they're getting chased by Brads, and the Brads don't shoot at them. And they're like, why are they shooting at us? I'm like, oh, because the dude who's a boss of Cash is a fucking ass, is an a-hole. And like it leaves off at a cliffhanger. It's like you're supposed to go, but I'm like I freaking called it. I'm like, I called it as soon as he walked in. But also just makes me question like, why does he have I don't know. You have a summer home in Jurassic Park, but like I don't know, whatever. Okay, whatever. But it was good. I like there's a shit ton of complaints. I've been making about this entire thing. I get that, but again, like maybe that's just my survival instinct of going. You can stealth that and stab him with a pointy stick, or you don't even have to. Oh, whatever. I'm like, or me, especially me. By God, throw me in a junkyard with time. I'm pretty sure I would make a set of swords. I would make armor. I would make so many cool damn things if you threw me in a junkyard with just time and tools. Like, I'm pretty damn sure I would make just a ridiculous amount of things with it. Probably won't be exactly really good, but it will be a crude weapon and armor and all that stuff. Like, that's why when I see those robots, I'm like, you can make such cool damn armor with that. Gun, cannon, just boom, like a... Oh yeah, and then there's bits where it's like Brooklyn's trying to grab the phone because Cash has a phone and they need the phone to call. There's also a bit where Darius then I'm like, just grab the damn phone. Like, he's looking that way, just go, grab, run. Don't be, get up close, yes, then reach up, grab the sucker, and leave. Just leave. And whatever. Darius does get a call out to his brother, and his brother's like, Darius, you're alive? I'm gonna find you, little brother. And I'm like, okay, he's badass. Also, I guess Jason Statham is in the series. Kind of like Kenji's has like makes voices that sound like Jason Statham's, but anyways. But yeah, it's a good season. It's a good season. Again, there's a lot of crap I'm saying it because I'm like whatever, but I'm just like, all right, one. I want to see these robots, these robots of Manticores in the new movie. I want to see more. I want to see more of these hybrids in the new movie. I want to see. Like Manticore coming, like, oh no, we'll take it from here, something like that. Like, there's like this. Like, here's the thing, because I think it's around season 4, around there. Because fun fact, the guy who made Jurassic Park the book also made Westworld the book. If I remember correctly, it is a book. If you don't know what Westworld is, it is a cowboy themed park with robots in it that has like robots gain. It's a cool show. I recommend it. Up to, I think, the third, or whenever they leave the park. Because when they leave the park, it no longer becomes Westworld. It becomes this stupid drama. It's freaking stupid and boring. It's not the cowboys and stuff that I wanted. Or the samurai war. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool. This show does the idea right, where it's like, okay, you leave the park, now we're building on top of, like, okay, people are making dinosaurs and like all this stuff, and like, you know, we're building on top of that, like these new biomes and this new island with these different biomes, and this island's like, even like half the stuff they've explored isn't even majority of this island, that they could make even more biomes. There's probably even more biomes in there, and I'm like, okay, there's some cool stuff that you can play around with this, and I like that. Mind you, also, there are some stupid stuff in this, and I want to end this soon, but like, there's a point where they're like, we have to stop Manticore, and I'm like, yes, the 10-year-olds are gonna stop a $1 billion corporation that can just, like, you're stupid, right? Like, that's like going to Disneyland and saying, we're gonna stop them from making burgers in all Disneylands and worlds, while being in California and saying you're not going to leave that place and you have nothing to your name. It's just like, are you stupid? Like, yeah, if you want to, like, you know, you find some evidence that some inhumane shit is going on, you get off the island and you tell them, okay, yeah, look, this is what this place is doing. Maybe something could happen from that. Even then, that's a very big frickin' maybe. You're not gonna do shit. You're really not. Like, especially if you're staying on this island, you're not gonna do anything, kids. I'm sorry to say this. Whatever. Again, I bring up a lot of these complaints, but I really did like. I love the characters with it. I actually, by the end, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with Brooklyn and Kenji. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute, and I like that. The brotherhood with Darius and Kenji is cool. Yaz learning how to have feelings, and like them all becoming like really good friends and like learning off of each other and so I'm like, that's really badass. There are some things too, because on the boat again, like they're like, oh, we're eating berries, and then maybe it's because of amphibia or because I'm like, okay, if it doesn't kill you, I think I probably would eat it. It's what's his name? Ben, where Ben's like, who wants grub worms? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? You got berries. You might as well eat some grub worms, or at least actually try them, since, you know, you're going to need protein and food and all that stuff. Though, mind you, these kids are just eating berries left and right. I'm like, you better have a very big stockpile of berries, unless you're freaking screwed, because, you don't know how long they're going to be on that ocean. I don't even know if they had any drinkable water. Also, they didn't check the rope when they put Darius in it, even though they saw Compy chewing on it. Beside the point. That Compy is dead. The season was good. I liked it. I loved it. I want to see more stuff. It's funny, on Twitter, there's a Twitter user who I follow, and they really like the Jurassic World movies. And you know what? Good on you. I really don't like the second one. I really do like the first one, though. The first one I really do like. And I honestly, I have been pulled around to liking the Indoraptor, even though I would have liked, more crazier things. Because at one point, the guy on Twitter, he goes like, man, you think they're crazy? Jurassic Park World has gone crazy now because we have robot stuff. They could be making dragons, zombie dinosaurs, and all these different things. And I'm like, I want them to make a dragon. Like, I think it was the Nostalgia Critic or someone that they talked about the thing, and they're like, yeah, if you're gonna make hybrid dinosaurs, make a damn dragon. What the hell are you waiting for? Like, the head of a T-Rex, the like an oversized body of a raptor, the wings of a pterodactyl, the breath of the spitter, the poison like spit of the that one dinosaur that goes like that. Like, yeah, do that. I want to see that. Do that. And like, you can even have it to where like, oh, they genetically modify. Maybe that's what they're setting up with it, because they set those other dinosaurs to be like heaters, basically. Maybe they're setting up to fire breath. Oh my god, that'd be so badass. Because like, you have like the gas shoots out, and then like, at least from reading the Dragonology book, how like they kind of said like, oh yeah, dragons release a rupture of gas out of their mouth, and they have a spark pack in their teeth or whatever that they snap together and just expands the fire, just whoosh. And I'm just like, that is cool. Do that. I want to see a Game of Thrones sized dragon. Which, funny enough, in Westworld there was a Game of Thrones sized dragon, which they then had to chop up to take somewhere. Westworld had some good things, but there's some bits where I'm like, But like, I'm just like, I want to see a dragon. If this next movie is going to be the final Jurassic World movie, give me a damn dragon, please. Like, they're building something, a new kind of weapon. Like, oh, what are they gonna make? Another raptor T-Rex. You just hear, and you just like, you see like the hangar or wherever it is open up. You just goom goom. Just wings open up, fire breath. They're like, they made a damn dragon? Like, come on. It's silly as hell, but by God, wouldn't it be cool? You already got silly shit here. Like, come on. A dragon would be so badass. Oh, God. I hope we get more hybrids. I really, really do. The Camp Cretaceous is the Clone Wars to the Jurassic World movies. Like, it makes them better for being exist. It makes them better by existing. In any case, wait, I'm trying to think. Wasn't the ending of the season, or the beginning of season 2, or whatever, ending of season 2, the beginning of Fallen Kingdom? Or was that thing wrong about the 3-year thing? It's actually only been like 6 months since then. I don't know. Maybe they're changing the time frame. I don't know. So, anything else below. Thanks for watching true videos I've done. Links are on my Facebook and Instagram. Share videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. And hope some of you guys get another season, and we will. See you later. Man, it's freaking great. God, a dragon would be so badass. Like, hell yeah. I love like giant, like Godzilla is one of my favorite. Godzilla is my favorite kaiju for a reason, and like I love him. I don't think Jurassic Park would ever go that crazy, but I would love at least a dragon. Ooh, maybe a Tarrasque. They can make like one of the scientists, like a D&D lover, and they make a Tarrasque. That'd be kind of cool.